Hi everyone, it is Heather with Rose Hill Paper Cottage, and today I'm sharing a project I made using all of these beautiful pieces from Lavish Laces. Gisela sent me a box, this beautiful Happy Mail filled with all of this really, really good stuff. She sells both laces, like tons and tons of laces, and then she also has some paper goods too. Check out these French postcards. They're beautiful. I mean, I just love them. I just think they're so pretty. I mean, they're just, I don't know, they're just so good. The patina, the wornness of them. Obviously the French script, it's pretty. And this like adorable little envelope. I mean, I can't even imagine like just writing on a piece of paper, folding it up into an envelope and it like making it. For sure not today. I don't think the recipient would would receive it. But you never know. You never know. I don't know. I might not be giving the post office enough credit, but I just feel like these things would just like slip through, the cracks somewhere. They're just, not robust or whatever you want to call it. But yeah, she has lots of paper goodies. You should check her out on Etsy. I'll put the link below. You could spend days looking over page after page after page of all of the gorgeous laces. She has vintage and antique stuff in there. And, you may not find some of these exact things that I'm showing today, but it doesn't matter. You're going to find something there. I mean, beautiful, beautiful stuff to choose from and to create with. And we all love our paper and our laces, don't we? So I love these pages. They're like on rag paper. They're just so pretty. I just love the patina and the texture. They're absolutely gorgeous. Now, I didn't use any of the paper goods because I needed to just kind of like take them in still and stare at them because they're absolutely beautiful. Look at this ledger. This has got to be the largest ledger piece I've ever come across. I'm trying to think of like the dimensions. Maybe like 24 inches was like the like longest piece I ever had. This is more than that. I'm sure of it. I mean, this is huge. It's got to be bigger than the largest one that I've come across. I mean, look at that handwriting. Can you even imagine writing that small? I mean, maybe some people write that small. I can't. I'm a very messy writer now. But anyway, look at these beautiful trims she sent me. Oh my gosh, they're so pretty. I love them all. And I think I use every single one of these with the project today. Every single one. And then a few other bits and scraps and stuff. So I'm showing kind of like my little scrap pile up there a little bit. So I'm going to make stockings because they're cute. I love these scissors. These are like grip type scissors. I don't even know if that's the actual term of them. My sister-in-law got me these. I love them, especially if you're going to like cut out a bunch of stuff. Just having that better angle is just, it's so nice. And yeah, I love them. They're not necessary, but I love them. So I'm using a stretchy fabric because I am repurposing an old like sweatshirt top, that had gotten like, just stained and stuff from like cleaning or snagged or whatever. And it has kind of like I don't know, like a nylon tie, I don't know exactly what the inside was. But it's not the same as like a normal sweatshirt. So it's a little bit different and it's stretchy. And I would not recommend using stretchy unless you are like experienced or don't mind the frustration because, sometimes it can be a little bit frustrating to work with. A cotton, a linen, something like that would be better off. And then a pattern. I just freehanded these stockings and I did several different sizes kind of, not in like really height, but just like in, the way that it was shaped, just some different ones because I didn't want all my stockings to look the same because mine are going to be for a garland. Whereas yours, you may want to, do all exactly the same because, you're gifting them or something like that, or you're putting them on your tree or whatever. And I also did some, where the toe is facing the left and some where the toe is facing the right. And on my paper template, I don't have a seam allowance. So I'm just kind of showing how I added a little bit of fabric edging there of where I would stitch along the edges. So you can incorporate that into your actual paper pattern. Or you can do like what I did, cut out your paper pattern, put it down, and then just, allow for a seam allowance in there. And get some pins, some clips, whatever you use to kind of, keep your stuff still, for lack of a better word at the moment. I always seem to struggle when I film. And then get your scraps. You can use just really, anything that you've got, any kind of bits and trims. Look through your holiday boxes. There's all kinds of different things that, you can put on the stocking, especially, you don't have to worry about, is it washable or all that kind of stuff, because you're probably not going to be washing these. So, but if it's something that you're actually going to use, you're going to make a big, large one and you will wash it or something, then, obviously pay attention to that. So some of the laces she has, like, look at this. This is gorgeous. Would actually fit on my complete shape. Okay. But I'm also going to show how you can kind of, pair laces together and everything like that to kind of make it look like it was like all one piece in a way. Look how beautiful this is. This is so pretty. And this is why I chose the brown, like the darker brown in the background, because it really makes that lace pop. So, I mean, you could use black, you could use red, you could use green, you could use pink, you could use whatever color that you want to. And you don't have to be stuck with a stocking shape. These would be, super adorable trees, candy canes, bunnies, hearts, stars, whatever you want to do. You can do whatever shape that you want. And they would just be adorable. So I just love that. I love lace, and I love seeing it and the texture of it. And then, having something dark behind it, it just really makes the details, and you see them in a different way than you would if it were, over something that's white or light colored. But go for the look that you're going to go for. I kept all my stockings the same color. Although the inside and the outside, they are different colors. So sometimes I did swap, which one I used for a little bit of variance. But I wanted the lace to really show. And that's why I went with the darker brown, tan. I don't know. I would almost call this really like a hot cocoa color. So I'm just showing a lot of the different laces. This is a really fun one. So this is how it comes. And I will match it up kind of to kind of create an entire stocking with it. So you'll see that in a little bit. And this one is so pretty. I'll show how I use this one too. Because some of these I've already done, because I'm doing a garland. So I don't know, I made 13 or 14 different stockings to hang. And they turned out so cute. I just love them. This lace here is beautiful. This one might be antique. I don't know. Just it's a little different. But it's beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And then I have all these little bits of trim. And I'll use this one here too. You can actually run a ribbon through the holes. But I don't. I kind of just left everything really plain, really simple, and just let the lace kind of just speak for itself to just really be the focal point of these adorable stockings. But you could get all sorts of fancy. You could make little hooks on the side of them too to hang. Rickrack could be perfect for that I have up at the top there, as well as some of the smaller, trims and stuff. Or if you're making it as an ornament or whatever, but I don't do any of that. I leave them very, very plain and simple. And then they'll match. I don't know if you guys ever do this, but sometimes I'll change up my colors or whatever. And they'll match regardless. But then I can also repurpose these at a later date. If I choose to, gift them, or, these would be really cute tags for presents as well. And putting in little chocolates or, peppermint sticks or something like that inside. I just think that would be so cute. So I'm just showing the variation of my inside and my outside of my old retired sweatshirt. So you want to cut, 2 of each for your pattern. You could also back it with a completely different fabric. You could also decorate each side. I only do one because I'm not going to see the back of them. Not in not in the instance of where I'm hanging my garland anyway. So here's this lace, and I have just kind of matched it up where the curves naturally are. That's how I'm going to stitch it onto my stocking. So whichever like kind of lace that you do, if you're going to piece it together like this, you would just stitch around like the edges of the lace, and that way it'll stay down. You could technically glue. However, because I'm using stitchy fabric, that's not an option because it would just pull and look weird. But in some cases, you could actually like glue. You could also hand stitch if you want to, but I just ran everything through the sewing machine. And I'm just showing here how I could have decorated the back, but I don't. I just leave them the way that they are because I'm only going to see the front. Which is why, you could put like a flannel on the back would have been like super cute. If I had any flannel. Again, I am repurposing something that I already have. I did not purchase any new fabric to make these. I went through my closet and had a thrift moment and thought this has too many spots on it and it's, gotten snagged a few times. So we need to stop wearing this and it can be stockings. Because who doesn't love a cute stocking? And look how cute that is. And I'm just showing like how small the stocking is based on like the seam allowance. So you can see there, like I stitched all the way around and then the stocking will be even smaller. So, just keep that in mind when you're creating your pattern and when you're deciding how big you want your stocking to be. So here's that lace. Like, look how adorable that is. It's so cute. So I'll show you the lace here. That's what it looked like again. And then just how I kind of just put it on the stocking to kind of cover the majority of the stocking, but I also left a little bit of the brown from the background showing because I just think it looks pretty and you really are drawn to both of the, all of the different patterns in there. I'm showing the back here where I stitched it so you can just kind of see I just caught it. And if you use a thread that is kind of the color of your lace, it's pretty forgiving. You're not really going to see it. I used a 3.5 stitch, but you could use like a 4, a 5, whatever you want to do. You could even go smaller if you want to. But I wouldn't, not for a knit like this, not for the stretchy fabric. Oh no. And then you just put your right sides together and stitch around. Although you could actually have your, you could actually stitch it with your right sides out, and have your stitching show, have your selvage show. And that would be really cute too. Look how cute that is. So I used a lot of all of the different like little laces, and then there's a couple of new in there, and then one really old one that like I want to remember that I have, which is another reason why this is so good, which I'll talk about in a second. I basically stitched along every single one, the top and the bottom. That way it's all completely secure. I don't have to worry about it shifting when I'm going to stitch the entire stocking or anything like that. You also, though, could stitch this onto like paper. If you don't want to do the whole like backing and all that kind of stuff, you could actually just stitch all this onto paper and then, to make it look nicer, you could just like glue some fabric on the back of it or whatever, or more paper or whatever. And packaging paper is great for something like that to give you a dark background if you wanted to, but they also make like, red, like craft paper, you could go that whole route or getting like, cardstock, that sort of stuff. Man, words are so hard at times. And my American English and spelling has gotten so bad. I will put that in there. It just has. Just going back and forth with the different words and what things are called. And it's just, it's a lot. It is a lot. So anyway, Where am I? I'll be stitching that up. And then I am going to, though, before I do that, I'm going to like create one. And you'll see like my whole process here of like, and it really doesn't take this long, but for some reason I'm taking a really long time to like create one. And it's probably just because I'm filming and, I have like the camera in my face and all that sort of stuff. But I don't know why I'm, taking so long, because really they go together really quickly. I mean, it doesn't take long. You just kind of like throw them on, the stocking and then stitch it down and then you're done. But this one here is going to take me like twice as long, maybe 3 times as long to just decide the top. I mean, it's crazy. But you'll see how long it like really took me to do this one, but it doesn't take that long. They can be really quick because I think sometimes, you get inside your head and you're like, oh, I'm filming and, what would I put and what looks good and all that kind of stuff. And really, I should have just told myself to shut up and just do it, because everything, any lace that you pick out, it's all going to be cute. There's nothing that's going to be like better than the other, it's all going to be cute. So you just can't go wrong. And I forget that sometimes too, when I'm creating. I just need to get out of my head and just throw it down, stitch it on, call it a day. There we go. I'm sure I'm not alone out there. But sometimes, I'll just be like, oh my gosh, why have I been staring at this for 15 minutes? Oh, goodness. Most of you, well, at least those in the U.S. would be celebrating Turkey Day today. So happy Turkey Day to you. Gosh, turkey is so good. I miss turkey. They have it here. It's just, I don't think it's as common or easy to find. Unless you go to like the butcher, maybe. I don't know. I should really get out more. But since I don't drive here, like it's just, I don't know. It's just not stuff I think about, when I go to the store. There's so many other distractions and, stuff to look at. And I don't know. But it doesn't seem like turkey's really like a thing here, but I'm sure people do have it. I think we did order some for Christmas, come to think of it now. We ordered some from the butcher, so we'll see. But I don't think I've had any since I've been here, any turkey. But I don't even know why I'm just blabbering on. Probably because it's taking me so long to do this stocking. And all of the options are cute. And I could have done any one of them. So don't be like me and overthink it, because it doesn't really need all of this thought process. The main thing is with these stockings, I wanted them all to be different looking, because they are going to go on this garland. And so I wanted them all to like have their own personality. And the other thing is I wanted each one to kind of like really shine on its own. It's a little bit harder to do when you're layering up a whole bunch of them, but you can still see their individual beauty, I think, by doing it, with just kind of layering it on the stocking like this. Did I say like you could do any shape that you wanted to? I don't remember now. I think about a lot of things that I need to say when I'm speaking, and then I don't remember if I actually said it, because that's where we're at. So I think I will angle that bottom lace a little bit on the foot portion after I, audition a few more options. That would have been cute there too. Really, any of them would have been cute. I already have these hanging up on my mantle, and they're so adorable. They're so cute. Each year I always tend to make something. I There's a lot of cute holiday decor, in general, both in the US and in the UK. But I also love that handmade feel, and I love to like incorporate that, with all of the other stuff. I mean, I just think it just gives, I don't know, like your own style, I suppose, to it. And obviously when I moved here to the UK, like I've been here, this will be my second Christmas, celebrating here. And when I moved here, I obviously didn't bring anything. I think the only Christmas thing I brought was like a couple of like ornaments. And then I brought my mom's Christmas stocking that she had when she was a kid. She hates it, but I love it. And I brought it. But other than that, I've had to like get all new stuff. And usually, there's lots to choose from because I make stuff, every year, but I don't actually use it every year. I used to do a lot of different themed Christmases. I didn't always pull out the same, stuff. I was like, oh, I want something different. Let's make everything blue and white or red and green or, whatever it is. And I would make a lot of ornaments and just like fun little things. I would make advent calendars and all that sort of stuff. So now I'm going to have to like build up my stock again, basically. And so this is a perfect way to do it, is to, create things like this. These can be, heirloom pieces in the future, or I can repurpose them and I can use them as gift tags next year or whatever. But I do love that on a couple of them, I added like laces that I really, really loved using. And I just have like a little piece left. And then I have that memory of that. So those stockings I may keep, just because they're like so pretty and it's the last of the lace of whatever I had that I used. And it would just be so cute. I should actually do maybe like a tree, like a larger tree, like a tree pillow or something, and do the laces, and then like the ones that I really, really just cherish and just love and just, to remember and to have for myself. So maybe I will do that. So something I found helpful was obviously I cut the pieces like almost kind of close, but when you've got like a larger piece of lace, I feel like it's easier to kind of trim around the stocking. You don't have to get real super close because you want to make sure you get it in your, when you're stitching around it. But I just found that it helped to look at the overall picture of it and what it would look like. And look, here it is, all stitched together like so quickly like that. I just love it. I absolutely love it. And I'm adding clips to mine because I'm working with the stretchy material. It doesn't like want to lay flat, and I'm going to give it a little bit of a press with an iron later. But those clips help to kind of, get it to kind of lay down. So here's the other stocking that I did. And I can't remember, this one might be, I don't know if I liked how the tip of the foot maybe came out, or maybe I didn't capture all the lace. I can't remember, and I'll fix that. But you'll see here in a second when we get it back open. You can use like a a paintbrush end or something, something that's not sharp, but has a little bit of a a point, not a point to it, but you know what I mean, like a wooden piece or whatever to like kind of get your shape and push out the seams. If you have a larger seam allowance, you may have to cut like little snips into it. I didn't need to with this because I'm dealing with a stretchy fabric and my seam allowance is very, very small. I mean, very small. It's probably less than 1/4 of an inch for sure. But if you do a larger seam allowance or something on there, then you may have to snip into it to get it to lay properly, in the curves. Maybe it's this one that I didn't like or didn't get the something caught in there or something. I can't remember. And again, like the tops, they're not perfect. I just left them that way. I love it. And look how cute. That's the one with the two different laces together. It's absolutely adorable. I just love how it turned out. So again, I'm just clipping it because I'm using like this stretchy material, and you can see how it kind of pulls in on itself. But once I press it, it'll obey, basically. So yeah, I think I'm showing here, like, I didn't really care how I had like finished that edge there, you know, like I didn't do a nice, oh, and it does look like I didn't get the lace all the way captured in there. So there we go. It's all better now. Aren't they so cute? Oh my gosh, they're so adorable. I love them. And you'll see how I've got them going different directions and all that sort of stuff because it's a garland, so I wanted them going all different directions. And here's the basket full of them and all how cute they are. But they all just turned out so good. So I hope you'll try some yourself. Definitely check out Lavish Laces. She has beautiful stuff. And I will see you in the next video. Bye-bye.